Howdy everyone, welcome to The Truth and Why It Matters. I'm reacting to this man's video, Mike Malloys, on youtube.com. Ready for Civil War is the name of his video. I'll be listing his claims in chronological order with timestamps. For starters, Civil War is reality. Oh, also, by the way, I'll be telling you all of his claims first, then I'll be listing out my responses. The second one is filthy goddamned termites, those Christian devils bubbling up out of the woodwork to start committing acts of terror in this country. From his own words, other insults, accusations of insurrection and authoritarian regime. Timestamps right there. Video's like 14 minutes long practically. Number 3, accusing Trump and supporters to be Nazis and calling him and his supporters a cancer. Okay. Number 4, there will be blood, there's no question, dragging Trump's ideals down to those of murderers and Nazis. In other words, hey, if you believe in what Trump believes in, you believe in what murderers and Nazis believe in. Okay. Number 5, Dalton Mattis pipe bomb story, Beacon, Illinois. I'm going to try to do a separate video on this guy, but my basic take on him right now is he does not represent literally even 2% of America. He doesn't even represent 2% of America, let alone actual Trump supporters, because, hey, how many guys making pipe bombs, right? All right, number 6. Rolling Stone analyzed. Alright, so this is still on Dalton M. Other ramblings from him, of course. What's his name? Mike. Dalton M. creates TikTok, call to arms. Question, what is QAnon? Plus, he calls Marjorie Taylor Greene the spokesbitch, so that's pretty freaking disrespectful if you ask me. Hey, aren't we supposed to be civil? Anyways. Anti-government conspiracies, conservatives are insane. The timestamp for that is 5 minutes 5 to 7 minutes 30. January 6th was an insurrection. Next. Number 8. Millions of terrorists equal MAGA. Make America Great Again. Where he basically claims, hey, there's millions of these guys, or terrorists, who he's referring to really is MAGA. See the picture there? You see, they like to use a sort of feminine version of aggression where sort of passive aggressive. Yeah. Number 9. This is the kind of people that Trump inspires to violence. This guy, what's his name? Dalton M. Hold on. Usually they have a police record, even up to the well-educated on his, and then he says 2 words. I don't know what those mean. I don't have to be some scholar. I already know some sort of little insult, nitpicking, I guess. Because, he has a disdain, and trust me, he outright says he has a disdain for Trump and his supporters. He literally says that, and I'll get right to that in a couple points from now. Timestamps right there. Number 10, Trump supporters are either stupid or criminal. Okay. Calls January 6th protesters criminals. If you can't already tell. Well, not that I don't believe. There's literal evidence out there that the courts were hiding actual footage showing January protesters protesting. And it really wasn't the insurrection that they made it up to be. So, really, they are political prisoners, Anyways, number 11, my horrendous contempt for Donald Jesus Trump. Yes, that's in there. 11:10 to 11:40, or 11 minutes 10, that's timestamp, to 11 minutes 40. He will say, my horrendous contempt. Horrendous, meaning his terrible, his horrible contempt for Donald J. Trump. And he just calls him Jesus. Probably that's how much he has contempt for him. Next. America has fascists. Plus, not to mention, he is a leading progressive media host 24 hours a day. And he's always progressive, always on. So I'm guessing it's 24/7, probably 365. Not only does this reveal his biases, but this is what's going to help me get to my next points here. To my response. You'll find that unlike him, I'm not quite partial to insulting people or making accusations without evidence. For starters, Civil War is a reality. Where, as far as I can tell, there's no one state seceding from the Union and joining a confederacy. Now, don't get me wrong, there's tension. Like, there's a lot of angst going on. People are getting to that point of no return. But generally speaking, this is more like pre-Civil War, sort of, and we're still before the point of no return. So, why drum it up to the point of no return? Anyways, number 2, where he calls us filthy goddamn termites and all that. For starters, termites chew, not bubble. Some kind of you'll get it. Also, Christian devils, poor choice of words. Because, Christians, you can't drink the cup of God and the cup of devils at the same time. If you know that one, you know what I mean. Can't be a churchgoer and a devil. You just can't. Can't be some mobster dude with tons of money and complete degenerate while going to church. That's just not how it works. Also, I can attest, you only really see atrocious acts of violence in Democrat states. Look up BLM, their riots, or the Black Panthers, or hell, the literal Nazi party in Illinois during the 1940s. You know how I found that one out? Through the freaking Blues Brothers. A movie called The Blues Brothers. I looked it up on Google. I was looking it up on Wikipedia. I'm like, what the fudge? The Nazis were really in Illinois. And they were respected by the Illinois Springfield Court. So, that tells you all you need to know. Anyways, BLM, by the way, Trump did massive damage control on. Because remember how they're threatening to paint cities red and all that other, all that other schmuck. So Trump basically did tons of damage control, kept them in check from tearing the whole states apart. So that's good. And by the way, BLM literally vandalized, robbed, murdered, and Grand Theft Auto'd. And they did, by the way. Grand Theft Auto is the crime of stealing an automobile. And threatened to paint America red. And I put a cheeky little bit of satire here. 1992 Los Angeles riots. Anyone? Ring a bell? Kind of like, hey, similar situation. By the way, most Republican citizens would not resort to becoming a terrorist. Poking holes at BLM. We generally make up the law-abiding citizens of America, and most likely own a copy of the Constitution, collect coins, fish, and other fun hobbies, alongside with going to church. Maybe talk, I don't know. Do Democrats talk with their barbers? I don't know. But generally speaking, you'll find it to be true. Don't believe me? Go to Texas. Go to Indiana. Live there for a little while, and you'll see the difference. I used to live in freaking Chicago. Thought the place was a complete dystopian hellhole. Wanted to kill myself, all that shit. But then I moved to the promised land. Yeehaw. And yeah, from there, life's been nothing but gravy. No violence, no sirens at night. Everyone carries a gun here, so that kind of explains why there's no violent criminals around. Anywho, Trump never even... Number 3. Accusing Trump supporters to be Nazis, calling them a cancer. I also forgot to mention white supremacy. So, Trump never even supported white supremacy because, hey, if you look at Nazism, it was the whole point of German supremacy. So I guess we'd call that white supremacy. To prove my point, give me one quote of him doing so and give context and evidence. That is a direct challenge to the internet. Do or don't. That's simple. Also, calling a set of people in your country a cancer because they differ from you, generally in beliefs. Real Nazis did that. That's called a double standard. Also, what evidence do you present for your claims thus far? Or, Civil War is a reality, filthy goddamn termites, and Trump being a Nazi. What evidence do you have for that, Mr. Mike? Okay, number 4. There will be blood. Hold on. There's no question. Okay. Blood, dude, BLM literally threatened that some years ago, that they would paint paint American cities red. And I bet you didn't bat an eye. I do. I bet dimes to dollars. I really would. Like a gambler at the craps table, I'd bet all my money on it. Like I said, we are law-abiding Americans, not bloodthirsty jihadists, who also literally sided with BLM. In case you didn't know that, when Islam declared jihad on America, which some years ago, like 2 years ago, something like that, there was a literal thing going on with this merch where Black Lives Matter and Islam, it showed an Islamic paratrooper just kind of parachuting downward. They had t-shirts and sweaters of it. How come these guys aren't in jail? Big question. Anyways. Also, the Palestinians who are literally calling for the genocide of Jews, how come they aren't suffering repercussions at all? But anyways, back to the letter here. And again, we are not Nazis. We have the Constitution, which limits state power. In case you don't know, that's what the Constitution is. Gives you, the people, inalienable rights. Means no matter what, you cannot be stripped of these rights under any circumstances whatsoever because you're a citizen and you were born here. And it, in fact, limits state power. So you really can't have a Russian KGB or nothing because of the Constitution. Now, where's the Nazi Constitution, huh? If we're such Nazis, how come we got a Constitution and the Nazis don't? Contradicts itself, don't it? Now, 5 through 6, talking about our man, not our man, this man, Dalton Mattis. First off, ultra-specific example, quote-unquote, of a textbook Trump supporter. I mean, one violent criminal, because I don't even know if he is, you guys know how freaking the news can be sometimes. Real just snake oil salesman, you know what I mean? But anyways, one violent criminal represents half of America. That's not how statistics work, friend. Not to mention, this guy is 1 in 1 million. Pretty weak evidence of Trump supporters being American jihadists, aka terrorists. Because if you don't know, ISIS were like Muhammad Jihad because they read the Quran, it's in there too. If you read the history of Islam. Oh, plus, he called Marjorie Taylor Greene a spokesbitch. That's pretty inappropriate. I have never heard a Republican say that to a Democrat, but the reverse is popular. And that's true. You'll notice, especially if you have a keen eye, that Republicans generally respect Democrats, they're, political opposites. They respect them. Maybe not personally, but, they give them that humane respect. Like, hey, your name is, let's say Tom. Hello, Tom. Nice to meet you. Let's do a session of Congress. For those of you that don't know, that's when the House of Representatives and the U.S. Senate meet together to basically vote on laws. That's what Congress is, session of Congress. Get a copy of the Constitution, people. $10 at a bookstore. Sorry, $10 at a bookstore. Worth it. All right, so number 6. What was number 6 on here? Oh yeah, Rolling Stone. Oh yeah, so this is more of an extension on the previous page. Again, cropping political opponents as undesirable is something Nazis did, just to kind of rub it in a little bit. Because, hey, it's kind of funny when someone else does it, but then when you do it back to them, they can't take it. So, yeah, it's kind of funny. For example, spokes bitch MT Green, Marjorie Taylor Greene. Okay. Christo-fascist conspiracy theories. First off, what is a Christo-fascist? Because no offense, if you ever read the Bible does not condone violence. It outright says that the violent have no place in the kingdom of God, in the eternal heaven. So, maybe you're talking about the Catholic Church. I don't know. They think that the church has more authority than the Bible. Besides the point, anyways. Anti-government conspiracies. Okay. Please give us more context, sir. QAnon, still don't know what the hell that is. Once again, you do not have any proof for these allegations. He really doesn't. If you look at it, it's just basically rambling. Or are you puffing smoke? Basically, you talking out your bum hole. Okay, number 7. There's more evidence showing that January 6th was not an insurrection, but a political arrest in mass quantity. By the way, BTW, the FBI is in fact corrupt. Look at Senate tape with Ted Cruz and $5 million Biden bribe case. Stonewalling, as Ted Cruz puts it. Yeah. Not to put myself on that hit list, but y'all really need to know what you're dealing with. Including the ATF, by the way. How come they just cut off that guy's electricity, jammed his cell phone so he can't call 911, and put one right between the eyes? That's just downright, like shoot, the most the guy would have served was 5 years. No way in hell that's just uncalled for. And it was a no-knock raid, too, so he did not know it was the police. So, yeah, you see what I'm saying here? Anywho, redundant, aren't we? So that's number 8. Let's look at number 8 on here. Where's number 8? Oh, yeah. Millions of terrorists, which are Make America Great Again, or, Trump supporters. Redundant, aren't we? For argument's sake, ... If half of America were terrorists, wouldn't there already be a war? Also, not every non-terrorist is a combatant. So wouldn't you lose rather quickly or be at a severe disadvantage? Now this is where statistics come in. So this is just purely for argument's sake. So according to him, this is true. That 50 people out of 100 people in America are terrorists. But then that makes the other 50 people at a very bad disadvantage because they are civil. You've got police, not necessarily properly equipped to deal with jihadists. You got medical professionals, teachers. Teachers, dude. Some of these teachers be kindergarten teachers. How do you expect them to fight a terrorist? Next, military. Yeah, those guys are more evenly matched. The military is way better than the terrorists. That's a fact. We've been whipping jihad ass for a while now. Politicians. All it takes is the freaking terrorists to take up these guys. Boom. But you see what I mean? There's grocers, electricians, plumbers, construction workers. So if his statistics are correct, the terrorists should crush the opposing side, aka even if there was a war, terrorists would win 100%. They'd destroy the opposition like nothing. That's just how statistics works, friends. So since this isn't reality, because hey, we're not in a war, 50% of Americans are not terrorists, willing to kill people. 50% of Americans cannot be terrorists because, like, you see what I'm saying? Because if 50% were terrorists, that would very quickly turn to 80% or 100%. Like, on the drop of a dime, there'd already be a war. So again, purely for argument's sake, this is a ridiculous statistic that came out of our friend Mike's mouth. Next. And yeah, go ahead, watch the video, guys. Seriously, I encourage you, watch his video. Not to be a bully or nothing, because I got a special little note for the guy at the end, but seriously, watch his video. Refer my whole answer sheet for point number 9. Point number 9 is, this is the kind of people that Trump inspires to violence, aka the 1 in a million Dalton M. Okay, again, refer my whole freaking answer sheet. There you go. Number 10. So number 10 is, all Trump supporters are either stupid or criminal. Now this is me being mostly a smartass, not really anything too serious. Okay, so we are all terrorists and stupid or criminal. Number 1, stupid terrorist. Easy to kill. Cool. No problem. USA is going to win hands down. Number 2, criminal terrorist. Isn't that the defining principle of terrorism? More of a smart-ass remark, but very laughable. Should be a comedy skit. Like, seriously. Someone should be like, hey, this is American Civil War with these stupid terrorists and these criminal terrorists. Like, there's a civil war within a civil war between the terrorists. Oh my god, they're so fucking stupid. You know what I mean? Well, anyways, outside of that stupid information, because I just wrote it like that so you can see how fucking stupid it is. Number 11. It looks like number 10, but remember, I always put that little... God, it's like a bracket, but curved. So number 11, the outright says, my horrendous contempt for Donald Jesus Trump. And it's in there, timestamp 11:10 to 11:40. It's in there. So then I put, your horrendous contempt for Trump. I hate terrorists, and I'm using this as an example. Why? Because they kill innocent people. For profit. Plus, it's their religion. Literally, it's in the Quran. It's in Shia law or something. Shia law, something like that. Like, it literally outlines it. Really messed up part 2 is, let's say me and my brother are jihadists, and he dies. His wife and his kids can't get any of his money. It all goes back to the mosque. Pretty messed up. And the best part is, if they catch me trying to take some of my brother's money back to my brother's family, they'll freaking go off of my head too. And yeah, it's in there. Trust me. Check out that one video that says, without lies, Muslim die. Not Muslim. Without lies, Islam dies. And I guess that would be true, because then I guess without lies, Muslims wouldn't be Muslims anymore. They'd be just outright killers. All right. But Trump's good for America. Back to the point. He lowered taxes. He did do that. The economy was good. All our enemies were in check. Like Russia, they no longer disrespected us the way they used to. North Korea, instead of us fearing them, they feared us. That was kind of cool. China, instead of being a bunch of you-know-whats, they sort of surrendered to them. So yeah, supreme dominance. Shake my hand to that. Anyways, he maintained law and order, like in the Black Lives Matter situation. And he respects our Constitution, unlike most Democrats. By the way, hi Hillary, I saw you say the Constitution isn't valid on the news. That time when you were criticizing Trump and you just happened to toss in, among the things he believed in, the sanctity of the Constitution. I'm willing to bet that you just want to throw that in there for whatever weird reason. But anyways, you're taking up too much screen time. Okay, your screen time is over. Well, it says screen time is up, but you know what I mean. Got your 5 minutes of fame, get out my video. That's mostly a joke, but that actually happened. Anyways, aside from wicked old rags, sorry I had to do it again, hating on our founding fathers' work called the US Constitution, if you hate that, that means you hate freedom. Because think about it. Trump, he basically stands for classic Americans' values: health, wealth, and freedom. Simple. So you got Nazi-like tendencies already and a hatred for freedom. So are you a communist? Like, seriously, Mike, are you a communist? I need to know this. Need to know this today. Well, maybe not today. It's kind of late in the day. But definitely, I need to know this. The whole American public needs to know. Do you support Vladimir Lenin? Do you support Karl Marx? Do you support Joseph Stalin? Who, by the way, let's face it, communism has killed hundreds of millions of people. Hundreds, probably even billions, to be honest with you. If you count up the total amount of people they killed. Yeah, all right, no longer joking, but seriously, guys, communism is bad. You do not want it. Anyways, number 12, fascism in America, says the fascist. Because let's face it, 9 times out of 10, guys talking out of their butt like this, and it's very clear cut and dry, kind of like what they believe in, and it's not good old American freedom, and it's not the almighty, and it's mostly a strong state, kind of like the fascist Nazi dictatorship, or Mussolini, the Italian, or other dictatorships like Stalin believed in a very strong government like Democrats do. Hey, I'm just throwing it out there. I know you're old, but dude, get a life. Go fishing, play cards, or hell, read a book. Try the Constitution. It'll do you so many more favors than the Communist Manifesto. Another sort of punch at a joke. Also, note to Mike Malloys. Outside of my response in satire mixture, I really think you need to mellow out and relax a little bit. Enjoy life while you can. Seriously, you're 80, right? Drink a pina colada on the beach and enjoy before your buddies turn America into a communist country. Mr. X.